Mtoe bwana. Sasa kumbe vinakutaka kusikia.
Good morning, honorable members. Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assembly for the welfare of society and just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
The Honorable Leader of Government, Side.
Civil Revenue and County Assembly for the year ended 30th June. Under the Civil Revenue Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st December 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We give 90 days, putting it in regard that we are going for recess also.
Constant guide.
Notice of motion. Questions?
We have a question by the Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I do raise to ask the following question. Aware that the Kenya National Blood Transfusion Services (KNBTS) manages Kenya's blood services as a national function with over 27 donation centers across the countries, comprising regional blood transfusion centers and blood satellite and blood donation centers. KNBTS collects an annual average of 164,275 pints, representing about 33% of the targeted 500,000 pints. This causes an annual shortage in the blood, resulting in unavoidable mortality such as maternal mortality. Further aware that before 2019, Kwale County depended on blood supply from the Regional Blood Transfusion Center in Mombasa. This was challenging due to distant and decreased resourcing to KNBTS, causing delay in blood supply to the county. This necessitated the county government, through the support of stakeholders, pioneered the blood satellite at Msambweni Teaching and Referral Hospital. Noting that, though it was a corporate social responsibility project by Base Titanium, the county government of Kwale and Base Titanium co-founded the building. Equipping of the satellite was provided by the German non-governmental organization, by that name, Honorable Speaker, into bracket GIZ. Concerned that, however, over a period after its completion, the satellite was functioning as a blood donation center. Blood had to be transported for screening in Mombasa, RBTS or Nairobi, and will take days to receive results. No screening of blood was done with all the equipment available due to lack of technical capacity. Can the department responsible provide information on 1. Does the center conduct blood screening, distribution of blood donations, e.g. for hospital, clinics, and emergency needs? Measures undertaken in ensuring the quality and safety of blood products. 2. Are there sufficient number of blood donors, and what measures are in place to encourage more donations? What is the current blood inventory and how they manage potential shortages? 3. Are the current facilities and infrastructure adequate for growing demand for blood? How up to date is the center's equipment for blood collection, testing, and storage? Are there plans for expanding or upgrading the center's infrastructure to meet our demands? 3. How many staff members are employed at the blood transfusion center, and what are their level of training? Are there regular training programs in place for staff to keep them updated on the best practices in blood collection, testing, transfusion, and transfusion safety? What is being done to address any staff shortages or to improve staff retention? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The member given the powers to ask questions, and as per the orders vested in the same standing order, I direct this question to the Health Committee. Chair, Health Committee, how many days? How many days so that we get the substantive answers from this? 60 days. Your entry is not full, Honorable Member. 60 days will be unfair to the people of Kwale. 30 days. How is our diary in the south? Are we within? So we give 60? Okay, Chair. You have your 60 days so that we have the substantive answers to this. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, statements.
Next order.
Order number 9, bill. Fund Bill 2024. A bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kwale to repeal the Kwale County Biashara Fund Act 2020 and the Kwale County Youth, Women and Persons with Disability Fund Act 2020, provide for establishment of the revolving fund for promoting development of micro and small enterprises, and to set up an institutional framework for coordinating loan disbursement and for connected purposes. Second reading.
Chair of the Joint Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity. The bill or the Biashara bill, Kwale County Biashara bill 2024, be read at the second time. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Biashara bill 2024, all members have been taken through. We went for public participation for all 20 wards in Kwale County, and we collected views on the Biashara bill. And we, as a house, we also involved, the owners have been involved about this bill, and let us look at the objective of this bill. The objective of this bill is to provide financial support to entities within Kwale County, build capacity for funded entities on financial and entrepreneurial management, solicit funds to finance their above, provide technical support to enterprises, journalists with other government departments to support business innovation and communication, link enterprises to financial institutions and partners, provide business development services to micro and small enterprises, and promote serving culture with the intent for commercial growth among the stakeholders. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, this bill is very important to the House and the people of Kwale, because it is this bill that whereby we can give people equal opportunity to get a loan so that they can be very active in trade. And therefore, I would like this bill be read at the second time, and I'd like to ask Honorable Member from Kongani to second this reading of the bill the second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Kwale County Biashara Fund Bill 2024. Mr. Speaker, this is a very crucial bill for the county, so that the entities which are providing businesses can be given money so that they can expand their businesses and be able to the people to be self-reliant. Mr. Speaker, I second the second reading of the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I now stand to propose the question that the bill now be read a second time. Honorable members, this is your time for deliberations.
For the people of Kwale to also get an opportunity to become self-reliant. Gone are the days when people used to depend on employment, but now people are going the business way. And as we've been keen, if we've been keen with what is happening, I remember even the governor, Honorable High Excellency Fatuma Achani, gave a challenge to the people of Kwale, especially the youth, women and PWDs, that it's high time they start doing business. It's high time they get into forming companies so that can be able to do businesses. So I want to believe, even before they do look for businesses somewhere else, they can be able to apply and get the funding from this kitty, so that they can start their businesses, or they can be able to improve on their businesses. But again, as we are looking into that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to also mention that in the first term of this devolution, 2013-2017, we had a revolving fund, which the intentions were to make sure that people get money, return it, so that it can go to another person. It is so unfortunate that that revolving fund made one of the CC members to go home, because people took money, people did not return their money. That means there were no clear ways on how best to maintain the fund. I want to believe, as we are pushing for this bill to go through, which I'm in support 100%, I want also to believe that we have put clear mechanisms on how best we can be able to manage the fund, so that it does not become a replica of what happened to the revolving fund. It is a brilliant idea that will enable our young people, our women, the people living with special needs in this county to be able to advance their businesses in all spheres. But also, let us also be very careful on how best we can be able to manage this fund. I want to believe the committee looked into it and maybe come up with policies on how to safeguard this fund. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Try to convince our electors to vote for us, so that you can have a chance to go and improve their life. And this is the other opportunity that we've been given as a house to come up with this bill that is going to be very much conducive for our people, at least to be in a position to borrow money and repay in a very comfortable way. I think it is the most paramount thing that this House can do to support the adoption and implementation of this bill, so that our people back in our various wards can benefit from it. But I want to say this, that we may have very nice bills in this House, but without good regulations, then we may end up in the same ditch that Honorable Judy was trying to explain to us, that we find people getting loans, but at the end of the day, they don't repay back. So it's my wish that as we pass this bill, the other side of the government, that is the executive side, will do the due diligence to come up with the necessary regulations so that we don't fall to the same pit. Making a mistake is not a mistake, but repeating a mistake is far much worse. And in this process, I would want to acknowledge the fact that at this time round, we've managed to pick the various facilities that are going to be granting the loans to our people. Unlike the first time, where this money was being dished in an orderly way. And this is what made us fail in the first round. But this time round, I believe, with the necessary measures in place, and then we are going to empower our people, especially the youth that are ever very skillful, very innovative, but when it comes to money, it becomes a very big challenge. This is the chance that we can prove to the public that for sure, for once, we are very serious in empowering our youth, our women, and those people with special needs down in the various wards that we represent today. With those few remarks, thank you. God bless you.
Na kuifanya ukarabati, Mheshimiwa Spika, ili watu wetu wa Kwale wakapate kupata msaada, ikizingatiwa kwamba Mheshimiwa Spika, kule national government wameweza kukatiza ule msaada ama ile basari ambayo ilikuwa inatumika kwa wanafunzi wetu. Na niseme kwamba Mheshimiwa Spika, sheria hii imekuja wakati mwafaka ambapo wakaazi wa Kwale, wazazi wetu, ndugu zetu, watakapotumia fedha hizi vizuri, Mheshimiwa Spika, ule mwanya wa kukatizwa ile basari hawataweza kuupata. Lakini niwaombe pia ndugu zetu wa Kwale ambao ni watumiaji wa sheria hii wazingatie kwamba hizi ni pesa za mkopo, ni urudishe ili mwenzako naye akapate kusaidika. Tusije tukaingia katika lile lindi ambalo Mheshimiwa Judy ametukumbusha kwamba wengi walichukua fedha wakakosa kurudisha na ndiposa zikaweza kumpeleka ndugu yetu nyumbani. Niwaambie pia vijana wachukue nafasi hii wapate kujiunga kwa makundi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu wakiwa kwa makundi wataweza kusaidiana na kuchukua fedha hizi na ziweze kuwasaidia. Pia sisi kina mama hatujaachwa nyuma, Mheshimiwa Spika. Niwaombe pia dada zangu, mama zangu pia washiriki. Fedha hizi zitapeanwa kwa makundi, Mheshimiwa Spika, zitapeanwa kwa watu binafsi. Lakini vigezo lazima mtu azingatie, Mheshimiwa Spika, uwe unafanya biashara. Niwakumbushe pia ni sisi ambao tutaenda kule mashinani, tutumieni lugha iliyo nzuri, tusiwaambie wananchi wetu kwamba hizi ni pesa za siasa tuchukue na hazitalipo. Kwa sababu nikikumbuka wakati ule mwingine zilisemekana, na naomba kunukuu, ni pesa za mvurya, hizi hatutazirudisha. Kwa hivyo niwaambie wananchi wetu fedha zipo, lakini sheria na masharti lazima kuzingatiwa. Uwe mfanyabiashara, uchukue fedha ufaidike, ili watoto wetu wa Kwale wapate kusoma, Mheshimiwa Spika. Niseme kwamba naunga mkono sheria hii ipate kupita, ili watu wetu wa Kwale ambao, Mheshimiwa Spika, tunaenda kupigwa na pigo la kukosa karibu milioni 500 ambazo watoto wetu walikuwa wanapata za basari. Lakini pia tumepata manufaa kwa sababu sheria inaenda kupita na ina kile kiwango ambacho kimewekwa cha chini, ni 1 seed in 1 billion, ambayo hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, tukitumia vizuri katika kaunti yetu ya Kwale, hatutasikia ule uchungu ambao kaunti zingine zitaweza kuupata. Kwa hivyo niombe nyumba hii na waheshimiwa wenzangu, tuipitishe sheria hii ili tumkomboe mtoto wa Kwale ambaye hatujui, Mheshimiwa Spika, muhula ujao wale watoto wengi wanaosoma zile shule za upili za kitaifa ambao walikuwa wanalipiwa karo yote, hatujui watarudi na nini. Lakini sheria hii, Mheshimiwa Spika, ikipita, watoto wetu wataweza kurudi shuleni, manake sheria itakuwa imepatikana na fedha zitakuwa pale, na watoto wetu, Mheshimiwa Spika, waendelee kusoma. Kwa hivyo kama mama na kama kiongozi, naiunga mkono, Mheshimiwa Spika, 100%, Mheshimiwa Spika. Shukran.
Skills will be put into real businesses, Mr. Speaker, through the provision and acquisition of the loans, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is through this bill that the economic development of this country will be checked into or considered, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the poverty index is higher, Mr. Speaker. The focus of income, resources, or access to basic needs. Mr. Speaker, one of the ways of empowering our people financially is the passage of this bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the second reading of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
The people of Kwale have been taking loans. I can say since 2017, they are 18, but they were taking as if it was a political loan. But since the bill has been brought to the House, I hope the management will take it seriously so that all Kwale citizens, especially I prefer youths and women, to be given the loans so that they empower themselves and do something valuable, but not in a political way. If we give out in a political way, the government's money will go to waste. And in government's money, you have to return back, and the value for money should be seen. So I support. Thank you.
The Speaker, I rise in support of the Kwale County Biashara Fund Bill 2024 second reading. Mr. Speaker, much has been said, and I just wanted to talk about a few things. One, Mr. Speaker, during the second assembly, we saw lapses and gaps in the Kwale County Youth, People and Disability Fund Bill, and also saw a gap, several gaps in the trade revolving fund, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, as a committee on budget and committee on tourism, we saw it fit that it is important that we should fill those gaps, Mr. Speaker. As Honorable Teresia had said, Mr. Speaker, it was one of the reasons, as to why the CEC member was sent home, Mr. Speaker, simply because the amount of money that was given out to the people by that time was not returned, Mr. Speaker. And give it, as the name says, a trade revolving fund means the money should be returned back so that the others can also be given. And it reaches a certain stage, Mr. Speaker, whereby the fund becomes stable and the county assembly will not appropriate other monies in that fund, Mr. Speaker. And for this bill, that the Kwale County Biashara Fund bill, when it passes, it means that the trade revolving fund, together with the Kwale County Youth, Women and People Disability Fund, Mr. Speaker, will go at rest, Mr. Speaker, and we'll only be having the Kwale County Biashara Fund Bill 2024, Mr. Speaker. And as a committee, Mr. Speaker, we went round for public participation to hear the views from the members of the public on what they can come up with in this fund bill, Mr. Speaker. And we also managed to capture most of the views from the public, Mr. Speaker. And just my appeal, when this bill passes, we don't want to see another scenario as to where money has been given out and not returned back, Mr. Speaker. This bill provides that there is room of the county government or the Department of Trade to partner with security agencies to make sure that that money is returned back, Mr. Speaker. And for that matter, Mr. Speaker, this bill will really benefit our youths, women, and also people with disability, and also men, groups, women groups, youth groups will also benefit from this Biashara bill, Mr. Speaker. My appeal to the Department of Trade. You know, whenever things seems to start moving very well, then a devil comes and gives you a girlfriend. I mean,
Is it not to have a girlfriend?
what I mean is when the bill has passed and money has started being dispersed to several groups or even youth groups, let them make sure that that money is returned back to the accounts and given back to other youth groups so that it can benefit the whole of Kwale as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support second reading.
Second reading of the Kwale County Biashara Fund Bill 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, this bill will be establishing a revolving fund that will be able to have their small enterprises, small businesses, women, youth, and persons with disability to be able to grow their businesses. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are at an age where the rate of unemployment is very high, and the only solution now is to encourage our people to do businesses so that they may be able to empower themselves and be able to make a living. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also want to request or want to add the department that they can do civic education to the people so that they can know that they are supposed to register their businesses, their companies, and also for the small enterprises. They should know that they should register for their licenses or their requisite licenses so that when this bill passes and by the end of the day when we have the fund, they'll be able to benefit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second.
To finance or credit that is affordable. And I believe with proper planning and proper procedures, proper regulations that have been put in place, they'll be able to borrow, you say borrow promptly and pay, borrow wisely and pay promptly. And I believe if they're taken through certain trainings on how to manage this fund and get to know the importance of that, of why they should be able to borrow, because it's a revolving fund, meaning that you have to borrow, return so that others also can also benefit. So if there'll be proper regulations, and remember, we normally learn from our past experiences. With the previous bill that was there, or the previous funding that was there, and which failed miserably because it was politicized. And people said that the money was for politics, and therefore there was no need for us people to refund it. But with this one, if there's proper regulation, proper procedures put in place, and I believe this has been done because we have been in the public participation, we will refund the bill, and I believe if well implemented, people will have access to credit and will be able to do business. And we believe when you do business, you have to make profit and better your life. So I do support the second reading of this bill. Thank you so much.
Budget na kamati ya Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti Bwana Mheshimiwa Miti ya Biashara. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi binafsi nimefurahika sana kwa mswada huu kwa sababu utatusaidia sisi hususan kama wajumbe wa Kwale, kwa sababu wananchi wetu wengi wakija
Honorable member, for guidance, as per my register, I don't have Honorable Miti, so kindly withdraw.
Mheshimiwa Juma Mwachivyombo. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, hakuna mwanadamu aliyekamili kwa sababu kila mmoja ana mapungufu yake. Lakini tumezoeana huko nyanjani. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, nimeshukuru sana kwa msaada huu, na mimi binafsi na kuongeza huu msaada na naunga mkono kwa sababu hata mimi mwenyewe kuja hapa nimekuja kwa biashara. Nimekuja Mheshimiwa Spika kupitia biashara. Na mimi kama mjumbe wa Pongwe nitasisitiza sana vile vikundi na wale ndugu zangu ambao wanafanya biashara ndogo ndogo, wale ndio waachia ili wangangane pia wao wachukue hii loan. Na mimi nina imani watu wa Pongwe number 1 kwa kulipa Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu wale watu ambao walikuwa na mtu ambaye ana experience ya kutosha. Kwa hiyo wale watu ambao watalipa labda watu wengine, lakini Pongwe tuoneni priority kwa kulipa Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hayo mengi na machache, asante na naunga mkono Mheshimiwa Spika.
I put the question that the bill be on the process of being read for the second time. Honorable members, as many of the same opinion say aye. Aye. And as many of the contrary opinion say nay. Aye. The ayes have it. Therefore, clerk.
County Biashara Revolving Fund Bill 2024. A bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kwale to repeal the Kwale County Biashara Fund Act 2020 and the Kwale County Youth, Women and Persons with Disability Fund Act 2020. Provide for the establishment of a revolving fund for promoting development of micro and small enterprises and to set up an institutional framework for coordinating loan disbursements and for connected purposes. Second reading.
Honorable members, as per our procedures, the House shall revert into a full House. Therefore, the Chair can take up the seats. Have the best deliberation, honorable members, as we proceed.
Part 2, as amended by the Chair, trade, be part of the bill. I now put the question that Part 2, as amended by the Chair, trade, be part of the bill. As many of the same opinion say aye. As of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
And adding the frame and approved by the County Assembly after the World Governor at the end of the sentence. So move amendment clause 5 to B of the bill amended by inserting a slash and pronoun her between the word his and appointed. Also, move amendment on clause 5 to C.
The House shall stand adjourned until 2:30 in the afternoon. Have a great morning. As per the deliberation be read a third time. Honorable members, as many of the same opinion say aye. Aye. And as many of the contrary opinion to this bill be read a third time, say nay. The ayes have it. Therefore,
Kwale County Biashara Revolving Fund Bill 2024, an act of the County Assembly of Kwale to repeal the Kwale County Trade Revolving Fund Act 2020 and the Kwale County Youth, Women and Persons with Disability Fund Act 2020, to provide for the establishment of the Kwale County Biashara Revolving Fund for promoting the development of micro and small enterprises, to establish the legislative framework for coordinating loan disbursements and for connected purposes. Third reading.
next order.
Order number 10. Order number 10, motion.
Honorable members, as per our order paper this afternoon, there being no other business, the House shall stand adjourned until tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Honorable members, I urge you and the whips to be aware that tomorrow, as per our deliberation in our yesterday's Kampunji, we shall be having a meeting, and I urge all the members to be present. I know you know the agenda for the meeting. Tomorrow you had sent me to deliver that message, which I delivered, and we are having a meeting after the first plenary. Therefore, I humbly request all the members to be present. Thank you.
wakipinga hoja hiyo. mwingine ni useless.
Sawa.
Uko na picha ya huyu ni picha mafundi. Hebu kupiga.